Hi guys, and welcome back to another video game with powers. I'm Jake. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my review of the brand new board game Mind Your Business, coming to you from MV Born Games. Alright guys, as always, well typically what I would normally do is go down to the table, show you guys a quick view, but we actually have I have a solo playthrough of the game up, so I'm going to go ahead and link that somewhere right up here. And if you're interested to see how the game is played, the rules and stuff like that, go ahead and definitely take a look at that video. But yeah, Mind Your Business, right? Mind Your Business coming to you from MV Board Games, game designed by Art Casey. This is a cool little spatial puzzle type game where you're essentially like some gnomes going around trying to collect resources and fill your cart while moving around the mine. I mean, it's cool. I mean, they got a bunch of different variants to the game. You know, they got solo, co-op, competitive, and I think it's just a cool little game for 2 players. But let's go ahead and dive right into my review. All right, starting with the theme here. So I'm going to go ahead and give the theme a 7 out of 10. I think it's, again, overall, it's just a good theme, right? The game at its core, like I explained earlier, is a spatial puzzle type game where you're going to have these cards out in a 4x4 grid, and you're going to have a little gnome meeple, and you're going to be going around the board with that gnome meeple, you know, swapping cards, rotating cards to try and get chains of different resources so that you can load them into your cart. All right, and basically the premise is for the base version of the game, whoever basically gets the most cards loaded into their cart at the end, once your cart gets all the way around the track, which is like 15 turns, you basically are the winner. So I think there's a good theme here, right? It does a good job being a spatial puzzle type game, maneuvering all that stuff out. Again, you're a miner, right? So you get that feel of you're mining these gems or gold or coal or the typical things that you would find in a mine, but I don't really see anything that made it go above and beyond from just being a generically good theme. I think it holds true to the theme, but there's nothing that really sets it apart to me in that regard. So 7 out of 10 here for the theme. All right, moving on to the components. As always, guys, we're going to go ahead and go down to the table where we got the components set up. I'm going to show those off. I'm going to talk about them, and then I will be back up here for the rest of the review. All right, guys, so we got the components little, you know, flayed out here or meshed out here all over the table. And so just taking a look at some of these, I mean, starting with the meeples here, they got these awesome screen printed meeples. This is the goblin character that you can fight. Here are your 2 character meeples. You got to choose the color what version that you wanted. There's 2 different versions that you can kind of combine to make it 3 to 4 player game, but they had this version, or they had, if you look at the front, you had like a cyan. Well, I think that's actually the both, but there's another version of the game that has the let me take the back of the box here. You can see right there in the corner here, so you can see some of the purple and the red gnomes. So these are the gnomes, screen printed. Cool. I love how they have a front and back. I got really confused at first because I thought this was another person with a beard, and I found out that's the back of her hair. But those are really cool. They feel just like normal meeples, screen printed. Here are your resource cards, or the cards that are going to pop up in the puzzles. These card sleeves came with the Kickstarter edition itself, but you can see like the details on them. So you know you have gems, you have coal here. If I can find one with gold, yep, this is what gold is going to look like here. And so I mean, they're just really cool, very vibrant colors, very pretty, things like that. You know, this one has like a little campfire on it. All right, and then here are like your resource cards. So this will come in whenever you're playing with the goblin or the other variant of the different resources. So gem, gold, and I don't have coal in here somewhere. And then the last couple cards here are just event cards. So as you go around the board here, or the mine, you will have certain event cards that will be able to do certain things. This is actually a power-up card. No, actually, I think that's a event card there. So those are some event cards, and then these are going to be your power-ups, so you each get a power-up. So you can see the artwork on these cards are nice. Very detailed, very specific. The cards themselves are odd-shaped odd-shaped card, but I mean, thankfully it came with card sleeves. But that is really it in regards to the game. Everything is pretty much cards, and then you just have your nice little meeples. But I think everything is very visually pleasing. It feels good. It looks good. Oh, let me show you the cart. So this is what one of the carts look like. So you can just see the detail on the cart is very, very nice. So it's 8 out of 10 for me here in regards to these components. All right, back up top, let's go ahead and move along with the setup here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the setup a 9 out of 10. Look, I think this setup here is stupid easy and stupid fast. Essentially, you're just getting out your cart card for each player. You want to hand them a player aid, you can do that. Give each of them the 3 individual powers or like one-time use abilities that they have, and then you're just putting out the 4x4 grid, and now you are ready to play. So very quick, very easy, very self-explanatory. 9 out of 10 here with the setup. Very great setup. Moving on to length, okay? I'm going to go ahead and give the length a 9 out of 10 here as well. On the box, it does say 30 to 45 minutes. However, I have not played a single game over 30 minutes, all right? And so maybe a little tad over 30 minutes, let's stretch that out, maybe like 32 minutes. This game goes very quickly because it's based on turns, and once you get the hang of this game, turns are going to flow very quickly, and there's only 15 turns till the end of the game, and so things are going to progress and move along very, very well, all right? And so what I found is that games usually hit that lower number, that 30 number, right around 25 to 30 minutes here for the length of the game, so I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. All right, moving on to the difficulty here. I'm giving this a 3 out of 10 for the difficulty. Remember, the lower the difficulty, the easier we feel the game is. The higher the difficulty, the harder we feel the game is. So 3 out of 10. Look, I think this game does have some trickiness to it, right? And some strategy, but at the core, it's very simple, right? There's only a certain amount of things that you can do on your turn. You get 3 actions, and you have different actions that you can take, like moving your person around. You know, you can swap cards that are orthogonally adjacent. You can go ahead and rotate cards in any direction that you would like. You can load your card. So it's very easy to pick the game up. It's going to make you think at first while trying to build these different combinations. And there's some deep strategy to the game. But overall, it's going to be very easy to pick up, I think. I mean, it does say ages 14 plus on here. I think you might be able to get away with it with maybe 12 plus here, maybe even a little younger. But I do feel like if you are new to board games, you're not going to have a lot of trouble picking this game up. It might, again, it's going to take you a couple rounds to get through it, but 3 out of 10 for me. All right, moving on to replayability. I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8 out of 10. I think there's some great replayability here with this game. The first one being that the mind is always going to change with the different cards every single time. I think also the different game modes, right? You know, in the solo version just itself, it has 3 different solo modes that you can play. It's got a cooperative mode, it's got a competitive mode, and so there's a lot of different ways to play this game. And so that replayability is going to come in. Also, again, I said the game moves very quickly, and so once you get the hang of it, it's, you know, this game for me, and I'll talk about this more later, I hate to love this game. Just because it moves so quick and you don't quite meet your goals, or I have not yet into solo mode. And so it's like you want to try again and again and again because things just move very quickly. So I think there's some great replayability here when it comes to this game. Moving on to the next one, the price here. So this is priced at $24.99. I think at that price point, it's good, okay? This is, you know, typically these smaller games you would see around $20 to $25. I think, you know, this is marketed as a 1 to 2 player game unless you get the other box, that the second box, which you combine to make a 3 to 4 player game. But overall, it's marketed as a 1 to 2 player game. I think in that price range, it is a good price point at $24.99. you know, again, it's just right around what some of these two-player games. I'd imagine it would eventually go down in value because I don't think there's anything in this game that's really going to make it stand out where it's like, oh yeah, this game is always going to hold its value. Normally, you see these two-player games fall off the market as time goes on. So I could even see you picking this up at 20 bucks. And I think that's what I would feel comfortable with, picking this up right around that $20 mark. But hey, if you want to pick it up for 25, I still think you're getting a good value for that. All right, moving on to my overall rating. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 7 out of 10. I think this is a good game at the end of the day, right? There's some couple things that I have that I wish were different. I think for me, the first thing is your actions. Like, you get 3 actions on a turn. I wish they gave you 4, right? And I say that because 90% of the time, you cannot get to do like a loading or get to what you want in just those 3 actions. It'd be easier if you had that 4th action. Now, maybe that's the game is designed that way, and that's what makes it challenging. But for me and Sierra, we've always found that it's like, we wish we just had one more action to try and collect these cards. And just, you know, it's kind of frustrating where you're like, man, I can't get to the chain or do the chain that I want, or get the chain and load my card in the same turn because I only have 3 actions. And that's the strategy, that's the strategic part of the game in that aspect. But this is one of those games that I hate to love, right? Because I'm not very good at spatial puzzle games at all. And so I played this maybe about 6 or 7 times solo. And the base score, just to even get on the board, is 30. I've hit 28 like 4 or 5 times out of I've played it. And I think I hit 27 in my playthrough that I linked earlier. And so it's just like, I keep coming back to the game more and more because it's become like a challenge almost, where it's like, I gotta get 30, I gotta get 30. And so I don't have a problem with that because the game is so quick and easy to get to the table. And so it's like trying to figure out all the spatial puzzles. And I mean, it just makes you think. It makes your brain work. And so I think all of those things are really good about the game. Other than that, again, I don't find the game too difficult. I think it's enjoyable at 2 players. I think this is a good 2-player game that you guys will enjoy. I think it's different with the spatials and the puzzles. You know, there's not a lot of components here. It's streamlined, and it's just a very it's a good production here for a 2-player game, right? Some 2-player games have a lot going on, like 7 Wonders Duel and maybe like Glass Glow, where you gotta have all these different pieces. Here, man, it's just meeples and cards. That's all you got. And so that's what I enjoy about it. So this is Mind Your Business. Coming to you from MV Board Games, designed by Art Casey. My overall review is a 7 out of 10, guys. All right. You know, last time, in my last video, I said we're going to do something new, and I recommended if you guys should buy the game. I think what I'm going to do, somebody made a comment on that video, or one of my videos, and said, here's a cool idea. Why don't you tell us, since you backed all these games on Kickstarters and you're reviewing these Kickstarter games, or the Kickstarter version of the games that you bought, would you go and back this game again on Kickstarter, knowing everything that you know now and playing this game again? And for Mind Your Business, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Knowing everything that I know, seeing the game, seeing how it works and plays for the price point, I would go ahead and back this game again on Kickstarter. I think this game is great. I definitely think this is a cool 2-player game that everybody should have in their collection that they can enjoy. But all right, guys, well, look, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. I hope you enjoyed it. If you felt the same way, please go ahead and give us a like. Go ahead and comment down below. And as always, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more awesome content. All right, guys, y'all have a great one. Bye.